morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Alpha Traders. We're going to do a little weekly analysis on Bitcoin. Wow, started out with a bang today, ladies and gents, wolves and she-wolves, did we not? BTC literally made a, let's see, on the first 4-hour candle, Bitcoin, let me see, 1, 2, 3, did it do a 3 SD move? It sure did a 3 SD move. But we're going to start out first there. We're going to give you the weekly current candle, normal, and Laplace distribution targets. Let's see here. Let's move this up a little bit. All right, you can see. And we opened up the day right by the bottom side of the 68.3 Laplace distribution range. Goodness sakes. I mean, it literally got about halfway to the 68.3 to the top side, which is at $67,316. The first standard deviation normal distribution, $70,664. And the first thing that's really catching my eye, that little dot right there. That little blue dot right there, there's a little pink dot hiding right underneath it. That is the 95.4% Laplace distribution range on the weekly is at $78,145 Bitcoin. The second standard deviation, 78,266. Those are about $120 apart. This is what I do. This is why I have two distribution models up. I'm looking at all these probabilities. I want to see where there's confluence on these two SD areas. Look to the downside. Look at the 95.4 to the downside in the second standard deviation to the downside. You see what I'm saying? These things are like $3,000 apart. Big difference. Up here, major confluence with that with those two distributions. So, what am I trying to say? That there is a probability by the end of the week that we really see a heavy move when we see Bitcoin up around $78,000. Does it happen? Hey, it can. It sure can. We've had two SD moves before, right? Doesn't really, you know how Bitcoin does it. Right? Bitcoin is a very powerful asset. It can definitely do that. But I definitely wanted to point that out for sure. And if you look up there at the end of the week too, you've got the fourth standard deviation and the 99.7% Laplace distribution range. They're within about $400 of each other, and they are right at the 95.4% projection, right? The projection from 28K low on Bitcoin. This is Laplace distribution projection, and that is the 95.4% range. There's a lot of confluence there as well. Do I think Bitcoin's going to make a run at 96K this week? I don't put anything past Bitcoin. This is what Bitcoin does. And I've been talking about this for weeks, how Bitcoin is going to lull people to sleep, and then you are going to see a rip in Bitcoin that's going to leave as many people behind as possible, right? So let's just for fun, let's look at the 1 SD to the downside. We're talking a $57,364 Bitcoin. The 68.3 Laplace distribution range, 62,775. So we do get a pullback here. I'll be looking for that. I will be looking for that area, 62,775. Let's bump over here onto the volatility range estimator. Let's see what's down here, 62,775. Where's that at? That is right. This red line, this yellow line, and this red line right here, that is the new daily volatility range for Bitcoin. And that, see this white cross line up here? That is that 68.3% Laplace distribution range on the daily. It's right by the center of the daily range. The top of this daily range, this red dotted line right here, that is our new weekly volatility range. This green arrow right here, that is encompassing the entire new weekly volatility range. There is a lot of confluence right here. Bitcoin ran away from this area. This is going to be tested. Mark my words. You will see Bitcoin down here around 63K. When does it happen? Could it happen tonight? Could it happen tomorrow? I can almost guarantee it's going to happen within 3 days, right? Nothing's 100% in cryptocurrency. But when you trade probability, volatility, and statistics, these areas hit. That's just a no-brainer. This is why we trade this way. So I am looking for a pullback into this area right here. It's literally going to test the daily range at some point, and it's going to test this new weekly range as well. Right now, Bitcoin is literally up here. So if this is the top of the new weekly, this red dotted line right up here, that is the first resistance level on the weekly, right? Of the weekly volatility range price action, that is the first resistance level. This blue cross line up here, that's the first standard deviation on the daily. It's been a little while since Bitcoin has opened up a day and made a 1 SD move that fast. This line right here, that is the third resistance level for this daily volatility range. 1, 2, 3. That is a powerful move right out of the gate. So that's why, we ran up to there, we pulled back right to the weekly R1 and the first standard deviation. So this would be a good area right here on the daily. That would be a good top if I was looking at it that way, to get this pullback back down here into the weekly and the daily volatility range. So I am looking for that. Let's go back over here now. Let's look on the, what do I got the weekly chart up? First thing I'm going to notice, I'm going to look on the weekly chart. These deviation bands, this is looking really powerful, right? You can see over here at this 41K low, first standard deviation, right? Got tested. Boom, bounced right off of it. Following week, closed that weekly candle above the Gaussian mean. Ever since then, it's been tapping this 1 SD. It actually got about a 1.5 move there. There was a rejection a little bit past the first standard deviation. Now, look at these wicks. Look at these wicks testing this Gaussian mean, right? Now, do I think that's going to happen again? I mean, that's a $61,000 Bitcoin. That's another area of interest to me. Does it go that low? Was that 60? Let's see here. You're talking right in this area. Literally, this green line, this is the first support level for the daily volatility range. That's the second. So literally right in this area. Like on this first 4 hour candle, that's literally about a 3 SD move, a little farther, about a 4 SD move. So I think this is going to progress through these next few 4 hour candles. Probably get back down here. That's what I'm looking for, because Bitcoin is seeming like it's wanting to make a big move to the upside. So test this. Let's get it over with, Bitcoin, right? We're all waiting. We've been waiting for a while. Back right over here. So what else do I see on this weekly chart? First thing I'm looking at right here is the Wolfsbane Indicator. And the variance is coming down, negatively correlated, telling you price action's walking up. Price action is walking up, right? The deviation log pro is looking good. We're building nice candles, and the entropy is correlated to the top side and increasing, dropping into trend as we speak. The historical volatility Z-score, it's flat, actually a little angled down, negatively correlated. That as well is telling you price action is walking up. Let's go over here onto our volatility indicators. This is our alpha volatility radar, and is what we're looking at right now. We got flat volatility coming into the new week, negatively correlated. Contraction on the mid length, negatively correlated. And contraction on the high length, negatively correlated. What does this usually end up doing? That usually ebb and flows right into positive correlation and volatility expansion. So all of these volatility indicators, the variance, right? What is variance? It's a spread of data around the mean. And what is that? The standard deviation of returns is volatility. This is why we use Z-score and variance and all these different statistics, right? Really helps you get an understanding of what's going on with Bitcoin. So this weekly chart actually looks pretty dang good, to be honest. I'm really liking this move. And this Z-score of log returns, that is the area right here. It is climbing. It is climbing towards the zero mean up here, right? Start to get some positive, some standard deviations to the top side. Right now, Bitcoin, this whole move down, it's been stuck below, right? we're talking negative standard deviations. So it's going to be good to see Bitcoin, and we're dropping into trend right now on the entropy on the weekly. Now I'm going to do this workflow. Let's go down to a daily real quick. Let's see what's happening here. Let's reset our price scale. Bingo, bango. Deviation bands. All right, look what just happened, right? We just had this pump coming into this new daily. Not only did it reject off those levels I just showed you on the VRE, it hit the first standard deviation right here, right, on these deviation bands, even though it went by it over here a little bit on the VRE. It's looking good. See, we're getting some expansion, right? On the mid-length, low-length AVRs, they are expanding. And this is another reason why I'm looking for this pullback, probably coming here soon. These correlations are pretty high. If these correlations were turning up lower here, just way down here, turning up positively correlated, that looked better for more upside move. But considering that weekly and daily range never got tested yet, this is looking exactly what it should look like. We're seeing the entropy over here. It is starting to drop in a trend. It's still random though on the daily. You can see there is no correlation one way or the other, so we got to pay attention to that. We are getting a DLP candle to the top side here, and you can see on this Z-score of historical volatility, it's heading positively correlated, and we're coming out of these negative standard deviations. But you can see it's been a rough ride down here for Bitcoin, right? We need to get up here above the zero mean, get some standard deviations to the top side. That's what I'm looking for the real move to start. You see this historical volatility Z-score get up above the zero mean, positively correlated, moving to the top side. Look out. That's why I'm really looking toward for that 78K level this week. We'll see what happens. You can see right now too on the daily, right? What's the variance telling you right now? You can see the variance was white, right? The inside line, when it turns pink, it's telling you there is a statistical outlier on the variance, and it is positively correlated. So this is to get this pullback, it's going to be powerful. And when you look at our ultimate power mean super guppy right here, which does it's looking really good actually. Look how price action on the daily, right? When we got this low down here at 41K, the purple dotted line, that is our reverse Fisher. That's like our last line of defense in alpha trading. Great setting we have on that. Blew through the reverse wave trend. Had a little rejection right here, but then blew through reverse wave trend, got up on top of the power means. It's looking good up here. And the red dotted line is the central power mean. And that central power mean right now is at $60,430. $60,430 is at about the weekly S1. There it is right there. It's literally within a few bucks. 60,393. Another area of interest if this thing really wants to pull back. And what does Bitcoin like to do? And that really shakes people loose, right? You know how Bitcoin is. It wants to get people into bad positions. This would make a lot of sense if Bitcoin runs up to this 1 SD on the daily and hammers down to the 1 SD and bounces from here. And there's more confluence down here again, right? You've literally got the daily 95.4% Laplace distribution and second standard deviation right on the daily S3. We just hit the daily R3 to the top side. That would shake some people loose. That'd be real interesting to see that happen. I'll be in the background chuckling. Because if you don't trade volatility, probability, and statistics, you are just losing your mind when that kind of stuff happens. Nobody can figure out, oh my God, what do? They cry, oh, it's manipulation. No, it's called volatility. It's a volatility trader will thrive on it. Let's go to the 12-hour real quick. I've been talking about this for days. Look at our volatility indicators. Wolves, she-wolves. When you see all three of these lengths flashing like this, get ready. There is a massive move coming. There's a massive move coming. But notwithstanding, there are going to be some very volatile moves to shake people loose. Like I'm saying again, this would be perfect. This is a perfect opportunity right here for Bitcoin. For these bears, you know, the bulls like to take the stairs up. The bears take the elevator down. don't be surprised if you see a few 15-minute candles will rip to the downside here at some point and get people really out of position. Okay, let's see. 12-hour historical volatility Z-score is heading out from the basement. It's negative reads. Right now it's 1.76 standard deviations to the downside, moving up. It is heading into trend. It is heading into trend. You can see we're getting a blue 12-hour candle right here. Let's see. DOP looks good. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, the charts look good for an upside move. But that being said, Bitcoin doesn't make it easy on anybody. Don't you, as soon as you forget that point, right? And as a volatility trader, as soon as you're emotionally attached to a trade, right? That's not going to allow you to take your profit if you were in this beautiful move to start the day out. And it's definitely not going to let you limit your losses. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. When you forget all these rules, that's when Bitcoin bites you in the ass. Let's drop down now to a 4-hour. Bilbo working this flow. Let's see. 4-hour, but I'm going to say this again, even on the 12-hour, the daily. Look how high these correlations are. They're very high. Expansion, right? If anything, you can start to get some contraction here and stay positively correlated. Tell you that price action is going to start walking down. Could get that move. Variance is super high right out of the gate though on this 4-hour. The last 4-hour candle, or the last two 4-hour candles of yesterday and this first 4-hour candle, been having a statistical outlier. This variance is pretty high. Wait till I show you the 15-minute. It is insane. But yeah, these charts are all pretty similar. This is what I've been waiting for too. You can see for the last, for the last week pretty much. The historical volatility Z-score has been in the downside of the standard deviations. I'm waiting for this to get up above the 0 mean here. It's already positively correlated, right? But right now, you see this Z-score turned back down again, positively correlated. That's gonna, you're gonna see this move down for sure. Which everything's looking good. Let's see, and this was a hard nut to crack here. When we had that pump the other day, right at the beginning of the week, look where we got stifled, right? That's the 4-hour reverse Fisher. Came back down, all the way back down. And these power means are a mess right now, trying to figure out what the hell Bitcoin's doing, right? Now, look at these 4-hour candles. Holy crap. So we did get above that. Now, that reverse Fisher right now is at $64,064. That's going to be, I'm going to be paying attention if Bitcoin does start to come back down to see what happens when it does get down to that area. See if that acts as a place of support or not. But that's not even close to the area that needs to be tested out there. Now, we're talking, we need another $1,200 at least to test the top side of this weekly range. Now, you can get within about $250, $300 of that weekly range, but the daily range is right here. You really need to get within like $50 to $100. I mean, it got within about 300, I think, about $350. That's just not close enough in my opinion. But Bitcoin will be the first asset. It likes to break the rules, right? Let's see. Yeah, 4-hour. It's looking good there. 90-minute. 90-minute variance is did a moonshot. Let's pull these indicators in. Let me give you an example of what just happened. Look how high that variance popped. I mean, we got some similar reads back here. Those were some great moves, but you can see, right? That variance move, statistical outlier, was negatively correlated. Look at that big, just as much of a down couple 90-minute candles as we're getting on the upside. That's why we love these indicators. People need to figure out, you need to correlate your volatility indicators. They will give you direction. Woo! Look at that variance. And so here's how the variance works, right? You get to statistical outlier, the top side positively correlated. We start moving up, and then variance turns down, negatively correlated, right? So price action continues to walk up or stay flat up there. This is how we use these indicators. Now, if this would have stayed positively correlated on the way down, you would already see Bitcoin down here testing like 63.2 area, probably the central power mean, those red dots, and maybe go down here to the reverse Fisher. There we go. 62.2. Right around. Whoop. No. 62.2. Yeah, right down here. right in the weekly volatility range, right at the center. Center's at 62.4. So if we do get that pullback, I'm looking here on the 15-minute, you're going to see it right back down here, bouncing off the Fisher right there. It's going to be powerful indeed. So yeah, for this weekly analysis, like I said, I'm going to go back over here and I'm looking at these standard deviation levels, right? The 1SD is up there at about $70,568. Got major confluence though is at the 95.4% plus, and the second standard deviation of $78,269. Keep an eye on that area, and also keep an eye on this area for this pullback down there around 62.2, 62.4. Maybe a 1SD move down there around. Let's get one more quick check. Oh, there it is. Bam, right here. A little under 62. Okay. But there is a lot of confluence down here. Bitcoin really wants to shake people loose. Those bears want to slam this thing down real quick before the upside. That would be a good spot as well. Right down there, about 60.1. All right, alpha traders, it's going to end it for our weekly analysis. I want you to have a beautiful rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you live at on this big, beautiful blue marble. I'll see you later.